What if, in a sudden and massive surge of power, every single neuron in your human brain fired at maximum capacity simultaneously? For decades, pop culture has repeated the same idea, that humans currently utilize only 10% of their brain mass. Movies suggest activating that remaining 90% would grant us abilities like telekinesis or limitless intelligence. This fixation on fictional superpowers distracts from the biological mechanics of how our brains actually function. In reality, brain imaging shows that humans already use most of their brain over the course of a day. The brain operates through efficiency, activating specific regions in a sequence. It uses only the necessary neural pathways to manage its limited energy. Our hypothetical experiment removes these filters, forcing every neuron across every lobe to fire at its physical limit, all at once. To understand the result, we have to look at what happens when biological survival mechanisms are completely overridden. As the stress test begins, the brain's electrical activity spikes to its absolute biological ceiling. In the hippocampus, neurons encode new data as quickly as they can physically reset. This creates a state of total recall, where every face, word, and memory is instantly accessible. Because the brain is forming new synaptic connections at maximum speed, the time required to absorb complex skills or new languages drops from years to minutes. In the prefrontal cortex, the frequency of neural oscillations reaches its maximum limit. This high-frequency firing allows for massive parallel processing. Complex variables that usually require hours of deliberation are calculated in milliseconds. At this level of activation, the lag between a stimulus and a logical conclusion disappears. Thought becomes an immediate, involuntary reflex. Simultaneously, the sensory cortices of the brain ignite. By processing every visual signal without delay, the perceived frame rate of your vision increases, making the world appear to move in slow motion. This state is a result of raw biological data processing. It does not involve mind reading or the manipulation of physical objects. You are simply perceiving every vibration, every single photon, and every scent in your environment, with no neurological filter to dampen the input. It is the human nervous system operating at its total physical peak, but it comes with an immediate biological price. The brain is a physical engine. Like any engine running at maximum RPM, it requires a massive amount of fuel and generates intense heat. This chart shows the brain's energy demand. While accounting for only 2% of body weight, it consumes 20% of total oxygen and glucose. When every neuron fires at once, glucose demand exceeds the body's entire supply, creating an immediate metabolic deficit. The brain begins to overheat as it loses its ability to inhibit electrical signals. In clinical terms, forcing every neuron to fire simultaneously is not a heightened state of consciousness. It is a massive grand mal seizure that would likely lead to permanent tissue damage within seconds. The brain's sequential activation is an evolutionary safeguard that prevents this kind of catastrophic system failure. Human cognition is built on energy efficiency. The brain performs trillions of calculations per second while running on only about 20 watts of power, roughly the same as a light bulb in your refrigerator. It manages to coordinate complex motor skills and abstract thought by using the minimum amount of electricity possible. Are we already using more than we think?